Do it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. To all of you here in the Zoom with us, welcome, welcome. To all of you watching us on the Facebook live stream, thank you so much for joining us. Next time, we need you to come on in the Zoom and hang out with us right here so you can ask your questions in person. And to everyone that will watch this replay, we thank you so much in advance for your time. My name is Tawana Rivers. I am the CEO of the 10K Project and one of the founders of OEO Holding, which is a micro private equity firm. I am joined here by my business partner, Miss Talisha Shine. I know on Tuesdays you guys don't normally see her in front of the camera, but she came tonight and she's showing all the red lip, y'all, okay?
All for y'all. All for y'all.
So we are so happy to have T-Shine join us in front of the camera. Tonight is a special evening for us. So Talisha and I are the founders of OEO Holdings. And so OEO has collaborated with the 10K Project tonight to bring the amazing John Laster here to share his investment opportunity with you. We're going to give John some time to talk about his experience and who he is and why him. And then he's going to tell you about this amazing app that he has built alongside his team. We are so excited about it. As a company that supports Black founders and Black business, this app is a game changer, and we're so excited to be able to bring this in front of you. We've heard from many of you that you already have the app downloaded, so you had already heard about it, which is wonderful. Yes, we heard from several people, John. And I know many of you saw John on Jennifer Hudson. We got some notes also saying, I know him from somewhere. Like I think I've seen him somewhere before. So thank you guys for just being engaged and excited about tonight's presentation, as excited as we all are. T-Shine, did you want to say anything?
No, we're gonna get this started. Let's go.
All right. So John, thank you so much for joining us. I want you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then go ahead into your presentation, sir.
Okay, awesome. First of all, thank you guys for joining. I know people are busy. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I I think I told Tawana a long time ago that you guys are I don't know, my dream business partners. Black women are the moral compass of this country. If there's any brothers on here, I appreciate you too, but women are the moral compass. Um, so yeah, I don't know. My day job is stand-up comedy. I work at the greatest comedy club in the world called the Comedy Cellar in the West Village. Um, I'm originally from Denver, moved here to, I was a ball player in a former life. We were just talking about that. Moved here to New York to pursue my comedy career. Long story short, we got locked down, as you guys all know, a few years ago, and I was out marching, and I don't know, something just came over me that everything was going to go back to normal. People were going to go back to doing what they've been doing. And Black folks, we were still going to be stuck with our car in the ditch. So I made some phone calls to Silicon Valley, and we got our heads down and built an app, a geolocated e-commerce app for Black home businesses. We just crossed 120,000 downloads. I don't think that there's anything that will cause an eruption in this app like the past election. Um, Martin Luther King Day this year on Monday falls on the same day as the inauguration, and then right behind that is Black History Month, and then the app should get really interesting. But other than that, yeah, that's the long and short of it. I don't know how formal you guys want to be. If you want to just jump into the deck, we can
Let's
bring.
jump in. We are the opposite of formal. So like
Oh,
that is not us.
yeah. Yeah, we could jump into the deck, and then I would, I don't know. I think that these things work better when people get to ask their questions.
Yeah, we agree.
Um, but let me pull this up. Can everyone see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's take it from the top instead of the bottom. Um, let's see. That should be a little better. So yeah, as I said, It's a Black-owned business app. We started off with just a screen that would essentially figure out wherever you were sitting in the world. I saw folks on here from St. Louis, Asheville. So no matter where you are, South Korea, I don't think it works in North Korea, but South Korea should be good. And it'll figure out where you're sitting, put the Black-owned businesses around you on a Google map. What problem are we solving? Um, this is the most critical question of any business. And the problem that we're solving is making it easy for folks to find Black-owned businesses. And I don't care what color you are, Black, white, Latino, Asian. If something is difficult, people just aren't doing it. And that's why I like to give grace to Black folks up to this point in time for not doing more of this. Because anything that if you wanted to put on an outfit of Black-owned clothes right now, you would have to search these things one by one. And people just don't shop like that. That's not the way we're accustomed to buying things. We want to throw something in the cart, double click, and keep it moving. So that's what I do all day, every day. Um, I put this slide in here basically saying that people saying that the difficulty of finding Black-owned stuff was one of the reasons that they don't do more of it. So we're trying to remove that barrier. I didn't know until I got into this project that there were 3.12 million Black-owned businesses. This was sourced from Fortune, I believe, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that $206 billion figure has climbed quite a bit since then. We've rebounded quite a bit since the pandemic. This was also sourced from 2022 and caught me off guard, which is why I put this slide in here, saying that 45% of Americans believe that retailers should actively support Black-owned businesses. I did not believe that there were that many people in America. Fast forward to the election, 2024, that's about where the election shook out. That's about the percentage of people. It came out almost exactly what this slide predicted, and 92% of Black folks. This is the picture of the app. It actually changed today, and I'll tell you guys about that a little more. Like I was saying, it'll pick up wherever you are: Atlanta, Dallas, St. Louis, Asheville, Brooklyn, Denver, and then put the businesses around you. So that's like a glimpse into it for those of you guys who haven't downloaded it yet. That was this guy with some hair a year and a half ago. Our North Star at Blapp is to slightly but permanently alter people's spending habits. Um, as of the most current numbers data that I saw, people spend right around 2% of their income on Black-owned businesses. So there's a lot of, hemming and hawing and finger pointing that we could do at one another. The flip side of that is there's nowhere for us to go but up. The opportunity here is mind-boggling. And I mean, I stumble every day, people are sending me stuff. So there's stuff that I didn't know about. And again, you still got to make it easy. Somebody sent me the other day a sister out of Chicago who has caviar. I didn't know that there was Black-owned caviar. I didn't know that there was Black-owned LED signage. There's a sister who does signage. I've always wanted a Black neon sign. I'm gonna order it from her now. There's pillows, there's Black-owned lampshades. So when I say that 2%, if we're all right hovering around 2%, wow. If we make it easy, we could pour tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars back into our community and get the circulation rate up. This is just a bio. Someone said that, oh, people, John, don't know, what levels of stuff that you've done stuff at. I wasn't all that impressed with this. I don't know, who cares, until I realized that the reason that this slide did matter to me is there's, the saying of, if I knew back then what I know now. So I think that the reason that this slide resonated with me is all of the mistakes that I learned from my career playing basketball. Ended up being a stone's throw from the NBA. And then I got a comedy career, and now as a tech founder. But I don't think, I know that I'm a million times better as a tech founder, not because I'm smart, but from all of the dumb shit that I did playing basketball and in comedy. And then you get another career to start over. So that's why I'm so much further ahead. when sometimes people are like, um, why is this guy uniquely qualified? These are some of the folks that I started with. A lot of them have moved on. My homegirl Margot, I went to high school with, she had just left Facebook, who helped me start the company, had a dinner guest over named Matt. Matt's married to a black woman, has black kids. He's been at Google for 20 years and told her, hey, tell your friend I'll do this and I'll do it for free. And that's where the Google map came from. So it took us around a year to put it together. And then, Matt had to go back to Google. Margot went back to wherever she went back to. At that point, I don't even know. I think I'm really proud because they try to force these other folks on you. I beat this company up for 9 months to get me black developers. So now they brought me Ann Adams. Ann ended up having to leave us. I replaced her with a brother named Jelani. A brother named Eric now is my back end designer. Baba Tunde is kind of my Swiss Army knife, and Bilal is my UX designer. So everything that you see in the app, um, it's all black hands. You know what I'm saying? And that was by design. I wanted to put my money where my mouth is. Fortunately, Margot and Matt are super hippie white people, so they was like, we totally understand. And I was like, good. Because I'm
Gotta
letting
have
it
good
go.
allies.
Yes, yes, yeah. Hooray for the allies. But yeah, I need to put Jelani's picture in there now in place of Ann's. Investor and advisory board, some of the best advice ever given to me. I think I told you guys when we went over this deck the first time was never ask somebody how to get something they don't got. My big brother Tracy Morgan told me that. And so I started seeking out people who had created wildly successful apps or household name apps. And the first person that I was introduced to is my brother Ikram, who I am going to breakfast with at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I have to be the most annoying guy to this dude, but I'm constantly picking his brain because he's been there and done that. He created Venmo. He's a business partner of mine at Venmo now. And then some of my earlier investors, my buddy Mike Birbiglia, my homegirl Roxy, who has ground satellites on the ground that speak to Amazon satellites above the earth.
Mm.
Yeah, and they just gave her a seven-figure check for her personally. Um, Not to mention what her company's worth. So these are the folks that I go to. My boy Song and Dave at Squire, which is a black-owned barbershop app. I think their app is close to a $2 billion valuation now. Song's probably coming to eat with us tomorrow morning too, but I stay bothering these guys because they've done it. So I don't even when some people are like, "Ooh, John, good move," whatever, whatever. I don't give these dudes the credit, but trust me, it didn't come from my comedic ass. Um, we recently embarked on. We got notes back from a focus group that I have at Berkeley that does runs tests on the app to let us know what's working, what's not, what people want to change. One of the biggest things when we first got the app up and rocking was there were no deals and there were no recommendations. We weren't processing payments back then, so I couldn't offer a deal. So I made a phone call out west to a friend of mine, not to name drop, just to give her credit, to Tiffany Haddish. And Tiffany said, instead of whining about it, I can make that happen for you. And she came in as an investor, put the money up for the e-commerce platform. I'm on tour with my boy Tracy Morgan. We're headed back out Saturday. Tracy had a divorce on his hands, said he couldn't move no money. Let me get the divorce out the way. And then he and Chris Rock jumped in. Both of these guys are like big brothers to me, to help me move the ball forward. Social aware business, advertising, and social networking, which is why we added, and when we get to the end of this, I'll show you another reason why we added the social aspect, meaning that people have a profile on Blapp so that you can follow your friends. And eventually we will have the ability to DM in the app. So if you see some shoes, some glasses, some lip balm, some belts, whatever you see in there, black suntan lotion, you'll be able to, hey, check this out. And you'll be able to send that to your friends, which is why we created a profile, people to follow. Um, I'll wait till we get a little further along. So here's some of the features. Like I said, the map, the and also the products. The services we took down because it wasn't as accurate as I needed to be. We're back working on it to get that back up, which means you'll be able to get a black dog walker or, someone to come over, and we should be able to add therapists, things that require someone in your area, a contractor, an electrician, a plumber, more TaskRabbit, Angie's List functions. The online functionality is now working. I'm waiting until tomorrow with bated breath when they should be sending me an easier onboarding system platform for businesses to onboard themselves to Blapp. I thought I'd be able to do that on this meeting, but it didn't happen. And I was an asshole to my team on Friday about that, but we'll save that for another discussion. How do we make money? That's what people want to know. We take 20% of everything that runs through the app. So everything from baby clothes to liquor, Black gets a 20% cut. And obviously, I have a vested interest in making sure that every business on the platform is making boatloads of money, which, at some point in time, we'll be calling in favors from my influencer community that I have corralled over the last, almost 20 years of doing comedy. I have obviously tons and tons and tons of friends that have, huge platforms, whether that be podcasts or just influencers, like Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Tiffany Haddish. All these are longtime friends, but we'll be trying to drive traffic. And like I said, taking 20% of everything that runs through the app, removing these barriers to locating Black-owned businesses, whether they be brick and mortar or the online, like I said, and by Juneteenth, by the grace of God, we'll have the services back on there. But it needs to be at a level that I deem acceptable. This distribution thing, as we get close to wrapping this up, somebody asked me to add this slide to add context to where Blapp stacks up. So in case you don't know what these bars are, I asked a friend of mine how many downloads would Blapp need to have to come up on her radar as a venture capital firm. And she said, if you could get 1,000 downloads on Blapp, which I thought was ridiculous. I thought all apps had millions of downloads. And she said, no, it's very hard to get people to get downloads. So you would probably have passed around 80% of all apps at 1,000 downloads, believe it or not, which was shocking to me. I didn't know that until I saw this data. And then she said, and I said, well, what is the next benchmark? She said 10,000. So if you look on this chart, you see 10,000 to 50,000, you will have passed 90% of all apps by the time you get to 10,000 downloads. And I'll never forget this. She said, and don't worry about 50,000 because no apps make it to 50,000 downloads. And I was stunned by that because we always think, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but that's this many apps out of the 750,000 apps on the App Store. Um, like I said, we just crossed 120,000 downloads, which puts us in the top 3% of all apps ever created. And again, all of this is organic growth. We don't have any commercials. No one's seen Tiffany or Chris or Tracy or any of my friends do any ads because we wanted to get the e-commerce platform right. So we will be sounding those alarms here in the next 30 to 60 days. And we should be able to, you know what? I don't want to make any, we'll be doing better. Once we add some jet fuel to it. Blapp is taking an API and scraping public data for the brick and mortar. We'll be onboarding with our onboarding platform that's being worked out now for the e-commerce businesses. So that's where these businesses come from. We have flagging mechanisms in the app now to let you know if you see something that's not Black owned, you can tap it. It'll flag it. We pull it out in the morning. We can also manually add businesses. We have to toggle them on. I just say that to say our database is more accurate than the Google database that we were scraping at one time because ours improves every day. And y'all know good and damn well, Black folks will let your ass know when something ain't right with the quickness. These are the influencers that I was talking about. Somebody asked me to put down a month worth of them. It came up to around 56 million. I didn't want to put any of my friends who have overly big, you know, you don't want to put Kevin Hart in there. He's got more than 56 million followers himself. I thought that would be cheating. So I kind of put my mid-range influencer friends in there and it came up to around close to 60 million. So like I said, when we do go to like the booster rockets, this was from a year and some change ago, I think. We were at 70,000 downloads. Clearly we've blown past that. This is some recent press. I don't know if any of you guys saw the Jennifer Hudson thing, which was so good to us. And we have some of that coming up for Black History Month. I'm the type of founder that I don't know. I don't like talking about, oh, we bout to. I'll tell you what we've done to date, and I'll let you see what we got coming. So I'm not going to talk about the upcoming really, really good opportunities that we have. I'll let y'all see them. So, you know, uh, I like to be about it and not talk about it. But this is what we've done to date. Subscriber market opportunity, millennial spending's at 2.5 trillion, Gen Z at 360 billion and growing. My biggest surprise since I started Blapp is the fervor of young white women to also um, take this ride with us, to spend money, that and share the app. Caught me off guard. So some of that 2.5 trillion and 360 billion could definitely find its way to the app. This is the competitive analysis. I think there's got to be other people on here who've heard of Eat Okra, which I love. I think it's a beautiful app. It is just Black owned restaurants. Squire is Black owned barbershops. Miria went under, and there's official Black Wall Street, which is just the e-commerce platform. This purple bubble, as of a month ago, should now slide down into the Etsy Amazon because we do have the e-commerce um, portion of it working. So we've now moved into the e-commerce competitive analysis as well. Ask and use of funds. Uh, I picked up some more money, so I should probably have corrected that, maybe down to, I don't know, 200, 250 on the high end. The e-commerce platform is working. So some of that money, I don't know, we should be able to print ourselves here in the near future. But if not, you never know. There's glitches. Uh, so 250 is about what we're looking for. I'm happy to be on with you guys. Some of that money's going to be picked up pretty quickly. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be in Midtown with 38 angels and VCs. It's a 2-minute pitch, but yeah, they have me closing that out because they believe that a lot of people are going to want to probably put some money in the Blapp. I'm also meeting with my business partners tomorrow morning who have talked about putting some more money in. So that number is going to probably dwindle pretty fast. And then you got to put these total available market joints on here on every deck. You know, $1 trillion, 600 billion, serviceable. You know, with the online and the online businesses, service obtainable, meaning that if Blapp were earning potential was at 0.3%, that would put us at around $300 million. Now I think that would put us at a $2.1 billion valuation, but those are whatever numbers. And I don't want to take up any more of you guys' time. I'd rather hear your questions and concerns. And thank you for taking, like I said, the time this evening. I'd like to say thank you first and foremost.
Thank you so very much, John. Very, very well presented. I want to take a minute, and he just joined us a little while ago, to thank Mr. Dean Richards. Dean is who introduced me to John. And so, Dean, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting to know John first and foremost, but then also to have this opportunity come to the 10K Project community is absolutely amazing. And it's one of the reasons why, another reason why I love this community. My members don't play. They don't play about us, right? And so they are always sending, hey, did you see this founder? Hey, check out this. And so they keep us informed. And so excited about, how we've engaged our members to keep us in the forefront of their mind. But thank you, Dean. For introducing us with John. He is part of the family now officially. And so this has been a wonderful experience. I want to start, for those of you who have questions, please put them in the Q&A. so that we don't lose track of them into the chat. And then for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, go ahead and you put your comments in and we will read them as well. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the numbers, right? Because I love how modest you are, right? But I want us to hear these numbers again. 3.12 Black owned businesses. First of all, I had no idea, right? Absolutely no idea that it was that many businesses. And when we think about the Buy Black initiative, right? And we ebb and flow on how it prioritizes in our lives, right? Unfortunately, depending on what's going on around us, right? We go hard for it when where there's injustice, and then we get a little bit of amnesia when life gets comfortable again.
You know
Uh,
what though? You know what though? I'm so sorry to interrupt you,
no, no,
but
no, go
this
ahead.
is, this is a really big deal though. I don't think it's the amnesia. I think
Mm,
it's human nature that if it's not easy, that we don't do it. I think this is why I said that we need to be a little more gracious. When have we had an opportunity that, a friend of mine called me and she was almost in tears the other night. She said, John, I went on the app and I ordered a cup and I double clicked and it's on its way.
mm-hmm.
And she said, when is the last time that we got on something that was black owned, or walked into a mall that was all black owned? We haven't had it. What
That's
I'm
a good
doing
point.
all day, every day is making it easy. Once it's easy, then we can complain. Why aren't you doing this? But we've never had this ease.
That
It
is a
has to
very good point.
be easy.
You're right, because I mean, you use the analogy of shopping for clothes, but even when you say I'm going to buy black, it is not easy to
No,
find what you're looking for. First, I mean, and as sophisticated as Google is, even today, it's not as easy to find exactly what you're looking for from a black owned business. So you're absolutely right. There are many businesses of that 3.12. I would imagine many of them don't even have a digital footprint, right? They still are brick and mortar stores that you may not even, you'll never be able to Google them, right? And so the fact that now they get to come on board, right? And we'll talk about the onboarding process, even though we can't see it. I want you to talk about your vision for it because I love that part of this process. They'll be able to come on board and now have access to a community of shoppers who have been looking for them.
yes. I
Yeah.
mean, the other thing is the say, for example, I was on, and I can, speaking to the ease, I saw somebody sent me something the other day because people send me stuff every day, but this was a TikTok video that someone sent me, and it's where the stuff is running in the background.
Mhm.
And this girl is pointing at, oh, they got these pillows and these are black owned and these lampshades. The lampshades were fire. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the lampshade. But it wasn't tagged in
Ah,
the,
You
so
find it.
that means I gotta go look for the lamp. I still don't have the lampshade.
right.
If that lampshade were in black, I would have two of them. I knew which two I wanted, but I couldn't click, add it to the cart, add it to the cart, bop, bop. They'd have been on their way. We've never had that.
Right.
So that's why I said we must give some grace. Now, after we build it, this has taken me a year to get to this point. Then we'll have the onboarding platform, which you could use now, but it wasn't to my liking. It needed to be more intuitive and user friendly. After you can go on there and order a lampshade and a scarf and some earrings and add that to the cart and keep it moving, I think the numbers will be staggering. I
Mhm.
can't prove that now, so don't hold me to it. But I think that once we could do that, there's a pizza place up the street that I saw on my app. And I was like, pizza? I don't know, this might be wrong. So I call the pizza place, no one picks up the phone. I just ordered Little Caesars.
Mm,
No one is going out of their way. I do
right.
this all day and I wasn't
Right.
willing to go out of my way.
Right.
Turns out it is black owned. It's called Cuts and Slices.
Oh, that's the oxtail pizza place.
Yes.
Man, you missed out on that.
But they,
No, but you know what? But we all lazy. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. Now I found out, oh my God, that really is a black-owned pizza place later on, but nobody's going out of their way. It must
Yeah,
be
you're
easy.
right.
Now, once it's easy, I think that we will be like, oh, well, I found this on Blapp and that on Blapp. And then we start sending each other stuff. I could throw it in the cart and keep it coming, keep it moving. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But I'm not going to go look for sunglasses and suntan lotion and then Google bathing suits and then Google. No, that's
Yeah.
not the way people are accustomed to shopping. So I spend 12 to 14 hours a day replicating that so that you can hit the suntan lotion, the bikini, the sunglasses,
Mhm.
and all of this is Black owned. Double click and be done with it.
I think we now need to replace the E of e-commerce. It's not just electronic, it's ease. It's easy commerce. I need it at a click. I do need that. I need that one click and just like, hoop, if I can scan it, put it in there, boom, boom, boom. I need it to be available to me. So that is the ease of use is definitely, I think, something that happens. And then you don't have to think about it. It doesn't come like I'm searching because
Right.
searching for something
That's
is
what you do
different than
now.
buy, right? You
Yeah.
search, right? It's not like I have to go and I had to put in the right words and then it's not the right combination and then it's something else. So it's laborious to be thoughtful. But if you take that part out, then it's not in your conscience. It's just at your fingertips. So you don't have
Right.
to think about it. You could just do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is oftentimes if you have like those glasses, right, that you have on right now, I say,
Mm.
where you get those? Oh, I found them somewhere on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it, whatever, right? We've never had a place where someone says, oh my God, where'd you get that red lipstick? Oh, I got this on Black.
Mhm.
We've never had a place.
Right.
You got that on Black? Oh, I know. I'll just go check on Black now.
Right. Right.
But we've never had that. So when people have to go searching here and there and what's the name of that, and then I got to remember, you know what I mean? I might not remember right then and there. But you know what? Then I go on the Black. I say, oh, let me get some toilet paper. Oh, that's right. Let me get that red lipstick for old girl. If it's
Mhm.
all right there,
Don't
how
have
many more times do
Right.
you pick up other stuff? Oh, and then by the time you order that, people who ordered that ordered all this.
that's the
Right.
Amazon way,
Right.
right?
Right.
Suggestion,
Right.
that
And
algorithm
Yeah.
that
that's
tells
what
you.
we're building. And I
Mhm.
do believe once we do that, you will see that people are like, oh, I'm totally willing to do this. But it has to be easy.
Easy.
Thinking that
Absolutely.
people are going to go out of their way to do anything is not the way things work.
On you,
Yeah.
Dean, that's what I call it. It's called easy commerce. It really does need to be. The ease is no longer, it's not an option. It is now the base functionality. If it's not
Yeah.
easy, we're not doing it.
Right.
One of the things I run into when I'm trying to search, right, for Black owned businesses is being able to confirm that they really are Black owned, right? So I'm looking at the website, I'm looking at the About Me page to hear the, right, looking for founders' pictures because there are also a lot of fakes out there, especially when you look at social media, right? It'll be the Hey Queen t-shirt, right, with the Black image on it, and then you click and it's some company in Asia, right? So it's like, how do you verify, right, that these are authentically Black owned businesses, right? What's the criteria for that? Is it 50, at least 50% Black owned, or any percent Black owned? What's the validation, and how do you prove that?
Well, we've started at 50. If funny that you said that because the when I first got the prototype, I called a friend of mine. There's a wine store that I can look into literally right now out of my window in Bed-Stuy. And I was going to the wine store to get a birthday bottle of wine for my friend. And I'm so in the trenches of the app that I wasn't even thinking. So I said, hey, I'm about to go get you some wine from across the street. What do you want? And she said, why don't you use your app?
Mm.
We used to have a wine icon on there for the liquor stores. So I hit the wine thing. Turns out there's a liquor store 3 blocks away. This is the first time anyone's ever used the app. I go down to the store. There's this old white dude behind the counter. And I said, damn it, this thing don't work. We done spent all this time, this damn thing. And so I said, yo, man, you got any Black on wine? Let me at least get that while I'm here with your white ass. And so he says, oh yeah, my wife ordered all that wine. And I said, oh, your wife is a fan of Black owned, whatever. He said, my wife is Black. And he said, and I said, oh, I've got this app, da da da. And he said, that's probably why we showed up on your app because my wife opened this liquor store. So
Mhm.
it was actually 50% literally a
Right.
Black owned. So that was the
Right.
standard from there on. In terms of adding these early businesses, we've not found anyone trying to sneak on. It's Black folks who are talking about it right now. So there'll be early ads, and then we'll keep figuring out ways after we get enough businesses on there to be a little more to scrutinize. And anything that if there's no reason if we can't tell if it's Black owned to put it on there.
Right. Right.
There's no shortage of stuff. It's not like we're gonna be desperate, like, oh, we gotta put the no, we
Right.
don't. If I
Right.
can't tell, then until we can, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to put you on. There's more than enough content out there for us to do fine without guesswork and the Hey Queen from China.
Very good. Tishan, do you have any questions before we go to the Q&A?
Nope, just please, everybody, put your questions in there because the chat kind of moves quickly, and we want to make sure we get to all of your questions, please.
All right. So Edward says, is there a way I can share you on Blue Sky or with Black Project 2025? By the way, saw that video with you and Jennifer 3 times, and I'm pumped about it and interested.
Oh, thank you so much. And thanks for watching it 3 times.
And I think, yeah, I think share it. If there are networks that you want to share this project with, absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I've been following the Project 2025 stuff
Yeah.
on TikTok. TikTok got about 3 hours left, but
Okay.
We need to talk, right? And we still need to talk
We're
about
going to talk
that.
about that because
We
there's
got to talk
new
about
news
that. We
on
got
the
to talk
horizon.
about the election more. We got to lean into those topics a little bit. LaRon said, does the app also show kiosk locations?
no,
You mean like
no,
in the mall? If I'm by the mall, will it show me kiosks like that? Is that what you mean, LaRon?
I don't know. We could look into that, but as of now, no. Kiosk locations, no.
Mhm.
But we could
That's a
probably
good
figure out how
ad.
to pull that
Yeah,
off.
that's a good
Yeah,
addition.
yeah.
Anonymous says, can you share more on revenue model? 20% on anything purchased online? Question
Yes,
mark.
yes. 20% of everything of all online purchases. Our the purchases go through Stripe. So Stripe is our payment processor. The purchases go through Stripe, but it'll divvy it up 80% to the merchant, 20% to Blapp. So yes, that's everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that there will be times, maybe Juneteenth, Black Business Month, where we say, hey, 10% off everything, Blapp, or 20% off to do, to drive traffic, maybe when it's quiet, times during the year that it's quiet. But yes, as of now, it's 20% of everything that goes through the app.
Very good. And one of the things I realized we didn't mention is the minimum investment is $5,000 for this opportunity. So that's a minimum of 5. You obviously could do more, but it is a minimum of 5. Ali says, are you considering incorporating data with regards to Black-owned businesses for individuals doing research on Black-owned businesses as part of the info on your site?
Uh-oh, run that by me again.
So, are you considering incorporating the data with regards to the Black-owned businesses for individuals doing research on Black-owned businesses as part of the info? So, that data that you're going to capture, right? So, let's break that down. We just talked about all the businesses that'll be a part of it. So, you'll have data on the industries, the product types, their sales, right? Their revenue. You're going to have a lot of information that you're going to be capturing on these Black-owned businesses. How or if or will you leverage that data?
Yeah, you know what? That's above my pay grade right now. I'm sure there will come a time and a place for that, but I don't know how I don't have any plans to sell it or post it or anything right now. No.
It's definitely a revenue stream. So your data is going to have to be monetized from that, and how you use it and what you use it for is endless, but that is it, you're going to capture it. So it has to be monetized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they say it's worth more than oil and gold.
It
that's
is.
what, and
Um,
they are right.
yeah.
They are correct. Yeah. Yeah. But you can't do everything today, right? There's going to be a roadmap of things that, in the future phases of this. And that's definitely something to look into for future phase.
Yeah, we have a partnership. So I was at a tech summit in on the West Coast in Silicon Valley called Masters of Scale, where I met the senior vice president, really cool brother James from Google. And he saw Blapp and was like, man, this is long overdue. I can help you. So he connected me with, I have a liaison at Google. One of the things that they obviously are completely enamored with is the data. So they're like, John, we're going to make sure that we help you capture all this data, which is right around now. Kemi, a sister named Kemi at Google, she first thing she started me to connect me with was where we could plug AI into the app. So the AI is going to start to make the search mechanism more accurate. And then right behind that, she's like, hey, I'm going to also let you know some things that we need to implement to make sure that the data is not only captured, but it's clear and it makes sense in a
Mhm.
way that you can effectively use it. But beyond that, I don't know what that next step is, that next plan, what happens after I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a
Yeah. I
we've
can
not
see the
decided.
AI helping you with those recommendations as well, right?
Yeah, I
You
mean, those are
you brought
algorithms.
you brought the red lipstick. Did you
Mhm.
know they had, right, a foundation the same,
Yeah.
that would match your skin tone, like something like that, right? That those recommendations, if you like that lipstick, they've got a new color that they just came out with. The same company just posted a new color. Like the opportunity is endless. I mean, it really is.
Endless.
But they're starting with clean data is really important. So starting off as you don't have to clean it later. The fact that you're kind of setting it up structurally correctly right now is a major hoop that you won't have to go through later. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. And like I said, that was a blessing from, from that brother that I met early on. And he was like, yeah, I'll connect you with some people. And they've been great. They love Black.
Nice. Bernard says, good evening. I downloaded your app a few days ago, and then again on one of my tablets, but on my phone a few minutes ago. But when I click the link to set up the profile, there's no way to do that. How do we set up a profile?
Easy.
Mm, did you must have hit, Bernard, you must have hit skip. But if you click in the top right corner in that circle, you should be able to set up a profile if you hit skip. But you may have skipped it on the way in because normally you can set up your profile, as you come into the app. One
It
of
was
the
very
things that
intuitive.
I meant to tell you guys, and I know you guys will get a kick out of this because no one has seen this, that just kicked in the app today. Speaking of the reason that you're setting up a profile, is today. I don't know if it's working in you guys' phone, but it will be in the next couple of days. One of the things that we got was feedback, was recommendations, and that the app wasn't recommending anything. So what we decided to do was put on the map when you blap a business, which means you approve of it. So now, as you can see,
Oh, it has a little icon on it that you recommended
Nice.
it.
yes. So now
Nice.
when you go onto the app, you'll just be looking for places that your friends, rather than some random bunch of dots.
Love that. Oh my God, I love that. People you already trust, right? I know what Tisha
Yes,
likes, and if she said this
yes.
place was good, I'm going that way. Oh, I love that. Because I hate
And
reviews, right? Because so many people have different that we like different things. You see a 5-star review, I hate it. I'm like, man,
now you can just go where your friends already recommended. The
that's
other
what's
thing
up.
the other thing about that is I'm sure most folks on here know who Keith Lee is.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but this would be Keith Lee on exponential steroids. Because, for example, I was just down at Afrotech. I reached out to my boy. His name is Ali. And Ali, born, raised, big time comedian in Houston. Houston's guy. I hit Ali while I'm down at Afrotech. Yo, Lee, where you at? He said, man, I'm on the plane. We taxiing out to the runway, but I got a minute. There's a couple planes ahead of us. What's going on? Yo, man, I wanted to meet up with you to figure out some places to eat. But now Ali could simply just blap
Mm.
the places that he, now, first of all, it would be good for me to find those places because I could just look at where he blapped, right? Secondly, Ali is a local celebrity down there. So imagine the number of people that would say, oh, Lee blapped this.
Right,
I'll just go there. Imagine if Rihanna blapped it,
right,
or
right.
Beyonce in Houston, or Ja Morant in Memphis. You know what I mean? Like, imagine the amount of the business that these places are going to get when you start to get the Keith Lee, way above Keith Lee level folks are blapping these places. I'll just go there. Oh, Chris Rock recommended. Oh, okay, that must be a good steakhouse. You know what I mean? Oh, Rihanna recommended. Oh, okay, well, I'll go there. Some of these places are going to be flooded with business from somebody doing this.
Yep.
But we
Recommend.
finally got that up and rocking today. I don't know why it's not working on y'all.
And then, I mean, it goes back to what you said, the ease, right?
The
Because
E,
some of these people may not have taken the time to make the recommendation, even though they had a wonderful experience, because of how, I got to log into your Google to give a review, or I got to go into your Yelp and like, right? Like you made it easy to give
and
recommendations.
even if they did that, imagine if they did that, you still might not see it.
Right. Because
We
you
were
don't.
trying to find a way that you don't have to work. You could open up the app, look down at the map. Oh, bam, I'll go there.
Yeah.
Make it easy. So that's what I do all day. I just try to find ways to make it easier and easier and easier for folks to put money in these registers. But when those pictures popped up today, I was like, oh, we just got a lot closer. Because now it takes all the thought out of it. And that was one of the things that came back from Berkeley. The crazy thing about what came back from Berkeley, I was just on Amazon before I got on the meeting where they were going to present to me. And I was buying white tube socks. And I thought about it. What did I buy? Without even thinking about it, I just bought the Amazon's Best. I'm not going through all these damn tube socks. What type of psycho would I be to do that? I just I just got what you recommended. We kept it pushing.
I guess I'm the psycho because I don't went through all this.
We're not going to talk about psychopathy now. That's just because
Yeah.
some people have preferences. They're really, really secure about their feet. Just
Yo.
And I have trust issues. I don't always I don't know Amazon
Yeah.
like that to know if their best is
I'm
really
about
the
to say, you
best.
got the right one right there. She is not going to let it go. She'd be like, "What?
They
How
ain't
do
my
I
friends
know?
in real life.
What do you got in there? Are they packaged right?" Like she's going to be that person.
Yo, it's Amazon's Best or the African dude down on Fulton Street Mall. That's it. Those are my only two options. That's all it's gonna be.
Oh my goodness. No, that's a wonderful feature. That's great.
Yeah.
Anonymous says the challenge is many Black businesses are cost prohibited. I can go to Walmart and purchase underwear, in parentheses, they put panties, cost $3, but blank business sale for $9 to $12 for a pair of panties. But Black businesses sell $9 to $12 for a pair of panties. How do we create a demand and not go broke?
Well, so to the point about it being easy, right? I think that if I met a brother um at a friend's restaurant up the street, and he said, "Hey, you the Black guy?" I said, "Yeah." I like to think of myself as a comedian after all these years, but if you call me the Black guy, I'll be the Black guy. He said, "Man, I've been waiting to meet you, man. I have a toilet paper business." So I said, "Oh man, that's great. I'll get you set up. We got an e-commerce platform coming pretty soon. I'd love to put you on there. This is something that people can repetitively buy, which means they'll be back on the app. It's a win-win for me and you, brother." And he said, "Yo, man, how many downloads are you up to now?" He said, when I first met you, you had like 600 down. He met me, I guess, at the very, very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He said 100 something. He said, "Oh man, damn it. I can't put the toilet paper on there." He said, "Because, yeah." He said, I can't, we
Oh,
don't have
I can't produce that fast. Yeah. Wow.
I don't have the means to produce it that fast. So the $3 panties and the $9 panties. I think that as the demand goes up, some of these businesses will be able to buy in more bulk and
Right.
come down to a $5 panty and a $4 panty. You know what I mean? So I think that part of the problem is just like that brother, he's at that small scale, he's paying so much money and not able to produce enough to even allow me to,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I think that that's how you get the price down. But as it stands right now, if people have to go looking for black owned panties and they're only doing it so often, they got to stay at $9. If
Right.
we can get some more traffic in there, we might be able to squeeze it down to 7, 6, 5, 4, you know, and then you
Very.
got a shot to be much more competitive. I hope that answers the question.
No, that was actually a very good response. Ali said, would you be available to keynote speak at a Black Business Showcase event in April this year? Location is in Bakersfield, California.
Keynote already? Oh,
See
think
what
I got
happens when you come to the 10K
Hey,
project?
yeah. Hey,
you think I got keynote skills out here? Yeah, hit me up. Let's talk about it. Let's
All
talk
right.
about
I'll send you his email right now.
it.
So Bernard's still having some trouble with the profile. Um, so let's talk about tech support because I know you got it.
Yes, we do. You mean my team?
Mm-hmm. So Bernard's having trouble. What should he do? Right? Where can he get tech support to assist him through this process?
Hello Blapp at Gmail. Let me put that in there.
Got it for you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Hello,
just
Black.
yeah, hello
Yeah,
Blapp.
because Allie said she did it and it worked successfully. So Bernard, we're gonna get you some help.
Yeah. Just
Just
hit us at hello Blapp at Gmail and send me a screenshot or whatever you're going through. We can straighten that out really quick.
So Edward says, can a person that's already invested in Black investment companies that's going to launch soon on the Blapp? Edward, I don't know ask your question again. Can a person that's already invested in Black investment companies that's going to launch soon?
In
Edward, retype that for me so I can better understand what you're asking.
Black investment companies.
So Anonymous says you're looking to raise 250, and what's the plan for the funds?
Well, the plan for the funds is over the short term is one, you know, getting the e-commerce platform up is one thing, but then there's going to be a lot of work to do. So, maybe you want to archive the places that you've shopped. So we're going to need to build that out. We're going to need to um, set up some sort of AI that tells us like when people go out of business or complaints. So it's an ongoing process when you're trying to put thousands of businesses onto a platform.
Yeah.
In addition to that, coming right behind that, we want to get the services back on there. So we want you to be able to find a contractor or a therapist or a dog walker. So that segment, that Angie's List, TaskRabbit segment of the business, another portion of the business that I'm having meetings about early next week is delivery services for the brick and mortar.
Mm.
So I'll be in talks with Black and Mobile about
Mhm.
how you can have stuff delivered to you from a lot of these restaurants, some of the bakeries, the cafes. Um, so, there's some other moving parts that still need to be that we have that are beneath the surface right now. You can't see them in the app, but the meetings are going on and that hiring is going to happen. We're going to need to expand um, to get some of those things done. So that's essentially what the money is for, continuing to build out and try to perfect the app as best as possible.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So Edward clarified. He meant can he refer a business, a newer business that he just invested in, can he refer them to be on Blapp?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Every Black-owned business we know, Edward, you better cool believe I'm gonna work on my list, right? Think about what we've done here at the 10K project, right? 160 plus founders that we've highlighted in the last 5 years, right here within our group, right? We've got a bunch of entrepreneurs. I mean, these endless. I mean, I say we recommend every Black-owned business that we know, right? So that they can be in this one place for us to patronize properly.
I mean, let's be honest, for some of these businesses, it's going to be a, I'm not being, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic, but for some of these businesses, it's going to be a gold rush. There are a lot
Yeah.
of these businesses that are ready. They just haven't seen the light of day. And when folks find out, they're going to take off. There's, um, I don't think this is getting too ahead of myself or baiting anyone because that's as a CEO, I never want to bait anyone into joining us at Blapp. But one of the things that we're working on that that will be coming to an app near you is it's always been my dream to have within the Blapp space a Black QVC. So if you
Nice.
look in the app now, those of you who have the app, on that initial screen, there's a live and it says Blapper Tracker. So we have a ton of real estate inside that box that we could put live people telling about their products, whether it
Mm.
be earrings or, hey, these are some, like I said, the lampshades that I saw the other day, or shoes, or here's a new clothing line or a new bag line that I came out with, but they can tell you about the product. I want people to be able to see that. So that's also something that we'll be building out. Some of those products are going to explode.
We need to make an introduction. And why is this company's name not coming to me right now? Oh my goodness. I see the founder's face. There's a Black founder that does something similar to that. There could be an opportunity for collaboration there. He pitched. I cannot. Oh my God, I'm typically so good at this.
What are you thinking of? I'll tell you.
He's got this platform, and that's what he described to us. Is if you had a business, you could come on and be like, hey, look at my business. I mean, like you could, look at what I'm selling. Look at the pretty earrings I'm selling. What
The
was
amount and the amount of
Oh,
earrings
I know what
that
you're talking
you
about.
would sell sitting someplace with the pictures and whatever versus you actually selling them, pitching them in a QVC setting, they said the number goes up like 15, 20 fold. And like I said, some of these businesses are ready to go. Some of these businesses, like I said, it's some of this stuff is going to go viral. Let's be
I
honest.
mean, yeah, it will. I mean, this is going to be great. I'll think of the founder's name and make a connection. But there could be some space for collaboration.
Yeah.
Um,
And fortunately, I'm not starting at zero.
Are you
Gonna be
thinking of Kinley? Is that who you're thinking of? Kinley, the two partners that came? Is that who you're thinking of?
what's the founder's name? Do you remember the founder's name?
I remember, I know it's a gentleman and a woman came to pitch, but I think it's Kinley is what you're thinking of.
But I'll find it. I'll find it and send it over tonight. There's so much, like you don't have to go to the drawing board on some of this stuff, right? Like you mentioned, Eat Okra. Anthony Edwards was here. He presented. He's one of our 160, right? Plus, he presented here. Black and Mobile guys, they presented here. Like there's so many collaborations, right, that are possible, um,
it's endless.
which is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's endless.
Um, John says, thanks for the pitch, John. Please review the exit strategy for investors at our level or stage. How and when can we expect to get paid? How does our exit option differ from investors with preferred positions? Also, any anti-dilution protections for us? Project the total capital requirements to get to that exit. So it's a safe note. So talk a little. So it's the $5,000 minimum. It's a safe note, and John wants to understand what's the exit strategy.
My plan from where I'm sitting now is probably 3 years from now. So 2028, I'll probably be looking to get out. I don't, there's most, in modern day, there aren't that many Bill Gates left out here, but in modern day, most folks, their first startup, it's a 4 or 5 year proposition, maybe 6 years is, 6, 7 years is kind of the far end. Um, I think I will have pulled all my rabbits out of the hat by then. I also believe that we will have altered people's habits um, by that point in time. And I think that at that point in time, it's good to go public, John, so that people can get paid. Yeah, I'll stick around for a little while longer, but I don't see myself as the type of guy that'll be sitting around in the office answering to some board. I'm not built like that. I'm an idea guy. I would like to alter these habits, but I think we can accomplish that in the next 36 months.
Okay, very good. Anonymous says, who would you say are your biggest competitors amongst other businesses slash e-commerce platforms?
That's a very good question.
I mean, you had the slide that showed some of the similar ones, but they wouldn't be considered competitors, so to speak.
Right.
I,
The
I
same
guess
exact.
I guess official Black Wall Street. Only reason I pause is because like I said, my mentors, the people who are much further ahead than me, warned me when we first started. I went to meet with Ikram, and he said, "Yo, man, this is going to be a big deal." And I said, "Yeah, I know a lot of people. I'm going through my little spiel." And he said, "No, you don't understand. When people open up this kind of technology," he said, "whenever you open up something that you've never seen before, it is Uber. It is in its own thing. When you
Right.
when you show something to someone that's never been seen before, and Blapp kind of represents that. So I anticipate that there will be people that come running into the
Mm-hmm.
market, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about eat okra because it's just restaurants. Like I have so many other balls in the air, or Black and Mobile's a delivery service. It's not, we're not, Squire, those are my brothers, but even Song and Dave was like, man, we wish we'd have thought of this shit. Um, and it's just barbershops. And don't get it twisted, they're doing great. But
Absolutely.
it's not when I hear the word competitor, I don't know, we're really competing with ourselves. My frustration and whatever is normally with my team. Let's keep the train moving down the track. But I'm not looking at another lane right now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I tried to think. So it's funny that that question was asked because I too tried to figure out, ooh, somebody's got to be doing this already, right? Like after we talked the first time, I was like, somebody's doing this. But when you search, you see a lot of directories of businesses, right? You see a
Yeah.
lot of there's 1,000,001 directories, right? But there really was not one solution that allowed you to easily locate and then execute the sale, right? There's nothing really out there that does that.
And I have a brother of mine named Raylan in Portland who called me and said he was working on it. I have another friend here in New York who used to throw parties. Some of you guys might know Jay Norris, who had
Hmm.
Blacklight. He was working on something. All of them opened up Blapp and were like, we'll just work with you. There's a woman in Paris who was building the same thing, and she and I are in contact. And she said, I'll be your Paris wing because there's Black owned businesses.
Wonderful.
There's a sister in Amsterdam, and there's
Minimum
one in
investment
London.
is
And all of them were trying to build something similar, saw Black and said, let's we'll work with you. So yeah. And I know that they're gonna come running because once this thing gets out there, people are gonna be like, oh, let's build our own version of Blapp. When people see that, the opportunity, because I just people don't realize what our GDP as a people are. There's 100, I think 93 countries in the world right now. People don't realize if you isolated Black folks, we would be the 13th or 14th largest nation GDP wise on earth. We have the same GDP as Australia, Mexico. Like, people don't understand the countries that are beneath us, Spain and all of those European countries, like and again, 2%. If we got that to 5, 10, 15%, there wouldn't be no need for me to be on here. The money that would be circulating in the community.
Right.
But we got to get it going back the other direction. 27 hours for the Asian, 27 days for the Asian community, 20 days circulation rate for the Jewish community, 17 days for the white community. Black folks, a little under 6 hours. It's tragic, but
Yeah.
it's got to be easy. And that's why I give grace. I understand it's not been easy before this. So when you say, who's my competitor? Well, who made it easy? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Otherwise, I'd have been doing this. I'd have been
Right.
buying and would have never thought of this.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that they will enter the chat soon.
Oh, you're on mute, T.
I said Tammy Smith from the Facebook group said there's a team out of Austria doing it, but I'm kind of curious if it's like backloan businesses using geolocations and also American businesses. If it's even that would be interesting to see
Yeah,
country-wise, if how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for that, Tammy.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, none of this stuff is rocket science. It's about that same summit that I went to back in the day, a year ago. These Harvard professors put on this presentation about why some tech startups work out, some of them don't. And they go through all these different variables. Your team, how good is the team that you assembled? Where did you go to school? Where did
Mhm.
you grow up? How much money was put into the startup? The number one variable after all of that was timing.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Tammy
You
has a
might
follow-up.
have had the perfect thing, been there too early. Might have had
Yep.
the perfect thing, been there too late. I
Yeah.
don't
We've
think
we-
that
we've done
there's,
the been there too early things a couple of times. Yes.
yes,
Couple of times.
Couple of times
Yeah.
we've done the been there too early thing. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that with this election, this inauguration on the horizon, and the e-commerce platform coming into its own. Here was the first package. I showed this to Tawana and Talisha a few weeks ago. I think the timing for us is it couldn't be any better.
Yeah. I would agree.
Unfortunately, the election went the way that it went, but in terms of what that's going to do for Black, boy,
Yeah. Yeah, more than ever, we need something like this because we truly are all we have. I mean, we really, really, truly are, and we've got to lean into that more. We've got to start supporting one another in a way that is unmatched so that we don't have to continue to depend on anyone. We see all of the DEI programs going away, right?
dropping
Um,
like flies.
like flies. I was talking to someone today. They're nervous about some of their government contracts being given to other people because now they may not have to have the minority right quotas, and so it's just like, there's a lot of concern, and so we need to have our own backs. And I see Blapp helping us do that. I really, really do.
And again, though, even as angry with all of the sentiment in the air, and I hate to say this, if it's difficult, it's still going to be a flash in the pan.
Mhm.
It's just going to be a bunch of people that get angry and then get tired because you have to do all that. Now, if you make it easy with that tailwind, now you're on to something.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah. Rain said, I'm really feeling that logo. Do you have merch?
Damn.
Go into the app. You'll see it.
There's merch on the app in the app.
Merch on the
Thanks
site.
for asking, Rain. Do we have merch? I got a house full of this nonsense.
I want that one. I want the green one, please. Thank
You
you.
got it.
Thank you.
You got it. But yeah, I'm experimenting. I just made one yesterday. Hold on. I think you guys would get a kick out of this. I should put this on the app. You guys tell me what you think of this one. I just got this today.
I need the green one.
I'll make sure you get the green
I'm
one.
just saying. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and Miss Tammy shared the she says it's an international site. So she says they are international with over 500,000 merchants around the world, but it's first focusing on the Asian market. So really not applicable, but definitely in that same vein.
I like that one.
Like the bling?
Bling.
I like the bedazzled one.
Wow, do I got
Nice.
merch? Do I? You call me John Merch Laster.
There you go.
Yeah, we got a lot of merch.
Okay.
Rain, I think you got your answer. Go on the
Got your
app.
answer.
We got a lot of merch. Some of this
Rain,
stuff is exclusive, but we will put all of it up on the app. But there's some colors up on the app right now though. There's purple, you can get a gray one, you can get a black one, you can get a bunch of different colored t-shirts too.
nice.
I
Rain
didn't-
also asked, can users add Black businesses or does it have to be the owner themselves?
Yes, users can add them for stuff that we missed. Yeah. There's an add a business feature here in the back of the app. If you just click on your profile and then click on the settings nozzle, you'll see that add a business. So you can add brick and mortar.
Oh, I see that there. Okay.
Yeah, and then we got to toggle it onto the app so that we could, we clear everything. And then yeah, but we made that a simple process. And that add a business and the flagging of business, in the UX needs to be moved so it's easy, so it's much more easy to find. The fact that you had to ask that is a problem. So we're gonna get that situated here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Bernard got in. He said, I got it to work. He says,
You
however,
got it to work already?
he did. He said, I have a question. So Bernard owns a travel agency. Let's start there. And Bernard wants to know why you don't have any. Because Bernard, you're going to be the first one. That's why, brother.
Yeah.
He says, how would my travel agency be added? Or is the business for brick and mortar businesses only? And so it is not. It's for all Black businesses. And Bernard, we can talk about how you can add yours because you're going to be the first travel agency on Blapp.
And so Bernard also fell in the cracks of that services that wasn't sourced correctly, and that's why we took it down, and that's why we're working on that behind the scenes. But that's one of those businesses that we tried to source it the same way that the API was scraping the brick and mortar, but it just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't quite accurate enough for me. So I said, nah, let's you know, for for the brand, pull it down until we get it right.
Nice, nice. T. McGrath says, have you thought about finding a technical co-founder in exchange for equity? Your app looks 70 to 80% complete. With the right co-founder, most of this can be shipped in a few months. Side note, I'd suggest researching how Waze grew to 140 million users. Most of the data they collect is all user generated. Most of us already support these businesses. If you created a community point system, you'd get your data at a discount.
Okay, that's a lot. But
So first point. So let's talk about first point first. Have you considered having a technical co-founder in exchange for equity?
absolutely. Just had that meeting. And that's why the picture that was in there should be switched out to this brother named Jelani John. who will, we have to haggle out the details. We're going back and forth. He'll be on vacation tomorrow, but he'll be my co-founder. And she's exactly right, because he has picked up the pace on all of this stuff tremendously. And the guy that I had to let go before, the third party company that we're working with, that I got actually from Google, from our liaison at Google, um, I had to let him go. They were like, "Oh, we can replace him," and I was like, "No, it's time to go find a co-founder." So that's exactly what I went out and did, and that's really why we were able to get this thing up by Black History Month. So yes,
Mm.
and yeah, we are haggling about the equity as we speak, which will be hashed out in the next week or two.
Very, very good.
And then what was the second part of the
So the
question?
second one was just a side note saying that so there's a suggestion on researching how Waze, the app Waze, grew to 140 million users. Most of the data they collect is all user generated. Most of us already support these businesses. If you created a community point system, you'd get your data at a discount. So it's more just a suggestion or recommendation.
Yeah, well, thank you, because I'm truly addicted to these early stories of these companies. So I will find that one and check it out. But I watch countless docs on how these startups started. So that is I will add that to the list. So thank you.
Very good. Any additional questions or comments in the Facebook group, Talisha?
Yes, there's one I just direct messages to you. It's from Miss Tammy.
Okay, let me
You want me to?
look at it.
A lot of chatter there.
See it.
You see it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. She says, do you have desktop plugins for downloading extensions on your computer screen similar to Capital One? And she says, your competitor, My World, and I think it's Lyconet, has a similar product. Do you use a benefit for merchants to be loyal to your platform? And again, I think the difference is that's not a true competitor and it's not centralized in the same place. So My World is international and doesn't focus on the Black business. I think that's the differentiator there. But is
Yeah.
this only a mobile app? Like, can we use it on the desktop? Because when you go to the desktop, it just tells you to download it. So do you have any
Yeah.
plans on it
No,
being
we will.
desktop?
Yeah, we'll definitely have a desktop version by Juneteenth.
Okay.
Um, we were trying to build it out at the same time. Um, and we had made so much progress with the app that it was like, okay, well, we'll get to that. You know what I mean? We wanted to, the deadline was Black History Month
Mm-hmm.
to have something up and rocking, but we've always known that we're going to need a desktop version. That's just the way some people, some people's
Right.
point of access. I'm that way sometimes. I'm gonna be honest with you on Amazon. If it's something I've
I
not
just
bought,
prefer the bigger screen. So I'm the same way. I mean, I have a big iPad, right? I've got that 12.9, but I do like a bigger screen. Look, and I'm a little phone girl, right? I'm not the big, iPhone 17 kind of girl, I like a small phone. So looking at it on a bigger screen is my preference as well. So I can get with the desktop. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
that
And so
makes
yeah,
sense.
we'll have that. I'm guessing, I don't want to make any definitive whatever, but fortunately for us, um, because we've had the mobile is more difficult. The desktop version of it will be much simpler, but we just wanted to prioritize getting something up for Black History Month. Now, I would say by the time you get to February 16th, 17th, then you can move on to the other stuff you need to move on to. You know what I mean? A lot of the noise will have
Mm-hmm.
quieted down. A lot of the interviews and stuff that I have to do, that I have to be more attentive to, will have died down, and then we can move on, like I said, the services, the desktop, the delivery, all of that stuff. But the desktop is, fortunately, by the grace of God, not near as difficult as what we've been dealing with, but we are very aware that has to happen.
Yeah, very,
Awesome.
very good. Well, I want to, oh, go ahead, Talisha. One more
Yeah,
question?
Adrian has, yeah, it says, other than the Google APIs, how do you locate and confirm the Black-owned businesses?
Other than the Google API, our people who tell us, folks, whoever, wherever they are in the country, their neighborhood or whatever, they know better than we do, and they damn sure know better than a Google API. So Yeah, Black folks will let you know.
We do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
will. They
I
will.
I can definitely see somebody coming on that's not Black owned and somebody busting them out like,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
Ah, it's just NaH on the thing. No.
nah.
Ah, and fortunately, since we built Blapp, like I said, our point person at Google, her Kemi, the sister named Kemi, she started devising ways to use AI to get out in front of some of this stuff. So what's happening now, which they have not implemented yet, but they will probably in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they've already started collecting the data from the flagged businesses to input into the AI, and then all the other businesses that haven't been flagged. But all of the businesses that have been flagged, it's scraped and will be entered here very soon. They say it takes 4 days. My engineer said this is going to take around 4 days, but um, my guy was on vacation until tomorrow, so that means late next week. They'll start inputting, and then the AI is going to start trying to figure out what is it about these businesses, and going back through the ones that haven't been flagged. What is it about these businesses that we can now tell that we need to let you know, hey, John, check out these that haven't been flagged yet, but they look like these.
Right.
So that's going to, there's a bunch of different tracks that we're moving on. People telling us, the AI telling us, seeing if we can start to cross-reference with other data sets that have been confirmed as Black owned. So it's a constant looking to improve
Yeah.
the data set.
I want to spend a few minutes before we talk about the call to actions. I want to talk about the timing of all of this, right? So we mentioned Black History Month a couple of times, and really for you, this has been the road to Black History Month, right? So that you can step on I think you said the rocket boosters or something earlier. You said it like right,
Like
and
the booster
so
rocket.
I want to, you know, $5,000 minimum, safe note. Talisha has been putting the form in the chat throughout the evening. So if you're interested, please complete that form. We'll get that information over to John, and you'll get the paperwork associated with all the next steps. But I wanted to really talk about the booster rockets, right? We are being presented this opportunity right before the rocket is getting ready to take off, right?
Yeah,
And so, we always talk about deadlines and time frames and acting right when you know you're sure and you've done your due diligence and all of those things, but not delaying the action part of what you know you want to already do. And I think that is critical to talk about for just a moment here, because this is the early part of this, right? Once John presses the pedal to the metal on his network, the everyday investor is going. I mean, in all fairness, right? And with the most respect from John, he gonna forget about us, right?
oh, never that.
And so, now is the time to act if you are interested. And so, complete the form and we'll get the information over to you. And, there's some additional questions that need to be asked and all of that. And that'll come to people who are serious. And we are going to define people who are serious by people who completed the form and got that back to us. But I don't want you guys to miss this opportunity if you are in fact interested in it. So just know this one may not be the 3 months, 9 months later one, right? That you can come back and revisit, because this is getting ready to take off. Um, and I'm excited about that, right? I'm excited for John and all the work he's done, but I'm excited for the founders, right? These businesses that are going to
Oh, yeah.
um, really be saved, right? Talisha and I were talking about a story earlier. I don't know if any of you follow Lovey on in social media, but she posted the other day. She posted that she went to a Moroccan hammam in Chicago, and she was just telling us she went to the hammam, and she was saying how beautiful it was and how much of, if you know anything about a hammam, they like scrub you to life. Like we got one when we were in Morocco for the retreat. They are the most amazing things in the world. And she was sharing her experience about going to one. She said the name of the place, the one she went to was in Chicago. The place called, and this happened, I think this was like 4 or 5 days ago, wasn't long ago. The place called her today and said, you don't know us, but we're the such and such company. You came to our place, you talked about us. People have been calling us all week. You saved us. She didn't even know. She went on a whim. She had been to her mom years ago. She said when she visited Morocco, something came upon her and she decided she was going to look for one. She's from Chicago. She lives in Chicago. She found one in Chicago and went. And so she didn't know this place was struggling, right, financially or with customers. She had no idea. And she gets this call today. So today she came on to thank her network for trusting her, right, and for believing in her enough to even try a place out that she said was a good place, and not knowing the business was going possibly to close. And I share this story because I can't help but think about all the businesses that are looking for a platform like Blapp, right? Because maybe they are the brick and mortar and nobody's coming down the street stopping in anymore, right? And they're not tech savvy enough to have built out a e-commerce site for themselves, right? They're still mom and popping, right? And so and maybe they're trying to find one of the grandkids or one of the children to take over the business and they're not interested, right? Because they out here influencing, right? And so the world around them is changing and they don't have a solution. Blapp can be that solution for them. And so I can't help but think about, not just from an investor standpoint, how amazing this is, but from a small business standpoint, right? Or a mid-sized business standpoint, a business that just needs a little help, but they don't have the technical ability to get out there and find somebody to help them with marketing and get them a funnel system, and like they don't even know what any of that stuff is. They just know they sell a really good product, right? And for years it served them well, and somehow the world around them became digital and they don't know what to do. These businesses will be saved by this app. And I
Yeah.
can't help but to stick with that in my mind of how beautiful what you have built really is, right? We talk about the climate that we're in. We're talking about the fact that, we all we got, right? And all of that stuff. But the truth is, you are going to save businesses and essentially save lives, because businesses are people's livelihood, right? And so I use that example of Lovey's recommendation because we don't even know if our favorite business is struggling or not. We don't know, right? Because that's not something we talk about, right? We kind of keep that to ourselves when the revenue ain't revenuing, right? And so, some of your favorite products may be on the verge of closing. From an investor standpoint, we get emails all the time saying, I'm closing my doors, right?
Yeah,
And so,
I was on stage at the club one night and I get off stage. The Comedy Cellar is in a basement. So we sit upstairs during the show. I don't sit downstairs and watch it. I done heard all these damn jokes. But we go upstairs to the restaurant. And so I bring up the comedian. I go upstairs to the restaurant. This black guy comes flying through the door behind me upstairs. I got on the logo. He points at the thing. He said, "Hey, man, if you know anybody that works at that company, tell him I said thank you." And he's a little drunk, right? So I was like, this dude drunk. I said, you know what? I'll tell him. And then he gets upset. He said, hey, man, you're not listening. He said, yo, man, if you know anyone who works at that app. And I was like, oh, he does know what he's talking about. This is like 2.5 years ago. I had just
wow.
started Black. You know anyone that works at that app? And then I said, oh my God, this guy does know what he's talking about. He's not drunk. So I said, hey man, it's my startup, man. I appreciate it. And he said, he pulls out his wallet. You don't need to pull out your wallet, bro. I'm good. He said, hey man, I have a law firm in Fort Worth, Texas.
Mm.
And me and my wife had packed up the office. Someone comes in looking for a Black-owned law firm. We still had the services on there.
Wow.
And he said, and gave us a $5,000 a month retainer for the next 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, hey, man. And so, now he's getting choked up. And I said, yo, man, why are you getting choked up? And he said, you work in this fancy club, John, with these celebrities, whatever. He said, $5,000 a month might not be that much to you, but to me and my family, it meant everything. Now the manager's about to start crying behind me. And I was like, hey, bro, I can't be crying at work. You need to get your ass
Crying
out
comedy.
here. It's a comedy club, man. But it's
Wow.
people run up to me and say, and I've had a couple of those stories. I try not to repeat them, but it's relevant because you had brought up the topic. But that's what gets me up in the morning.
Yeah. 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 Big, big,
Yeah.
big impact. Major impact.
Yeah, those stories make it easy to get in the chair.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
again, it speaks to like recommendation, how simple word of mouth, going back to the true grassroots of it, even in a digital platform, word of mouth still works. We're seeing
Yes.
that it works in that way that somebody can just say something, have a trusted community, and their action, they are immobilized to take action and do the right thing. So they're like, hey, he said this is what I'm going to do. And I think that's where it all comes in, just not building things just to have, again, the exposure is one thing, truly having that trust built in because somebody says, hey, this is good, you should go there. And
Yes.
it's in a trusted space. It's not like the space is not an Amazon. It's not just this little thing, oh, just I found it in the Google App Store. We know
Yeah.
because we're telling people go to the app and then go shop. So it's like a twofer in there. So there's a lot of trust embedded in this product and in the service of actually giving and receiving. And again, back to what we do for community's sake is that we talk to one another as a community. We share, and sharing is the lovely Care Bear is caring. But it's more than that. It's actually saving us because when we share what we have, that makes us a stronger community.
Yeah. And that's why I was so thrilled to see those faces in there today. Because I was like, oh, here
Yeah.
come the recommendations. This is going to make it so much easier. And again, like the brother with the law firm, or there was a sister with a coffee shop who, you know, hit me with this emotional story one time about how these people had come in there, and she's asking them, how the hell did y'all find me? And she said, oh, they kept telling me, oh, this app, and they finally showed it to me. And then I walked in with the thing, and she said, oh, yeah, you're the guy. I thought I was going to shut this place down. So, yeah, seeing those faces on there is like, oh, yeah, now we got the recommendations going as well, which will make it easier. And God forbid you have a Rihanna tap the, you
Right.
know,
Right.
now that's or
Right.
Jalen Brunson from the Knicks, you know what I mean, or Taylor Swift, or Patrick
Right.
Mahomes. Some
Right.
of these folks are going to Black businesses, and boom goes the dynamite.
The
Yeah.
But
local
instead
stuff.
of
I
it
think there's
just
people
being,
in your own community that if somebody says something like we have people here. There's a woman here that does Savannah restaurants, and Savannah, she's about the whole thing, and she's on her Instagram. And anytime she says, "Hey, you could go to this place because they have this cool thing," flocks of people are there. Like she literally just says it, and it's like amazing. They show it, and you're like, people are already waiting for her just to drop this comment. And you
yes,
wouldn't know her. I didn't know her before I moved here, but now it's like, oh, she said that. So now I put it on a checklist. Like this is another place I got to go because she keeps saying this is the place to be.
yes, and now we can do that on steroids.
I love
Yeah.
that. That
Now
is
Yeah.
we can do
I
that in
I
every
love
city.
I'm sitting here thinking about the toilet paper man, right? I'm like, he's sitting at home right now, and instead of trying to worry about how he can save the business, he's somewhere trying to figure out how he can get some more toilet paper, right? Like, how can I expand this business so I can go on this app? Like, he's sitting at home with a different level of problem, a growth level of problem, right? That is going to take his business to, like, I'd love to talk to him, right? I'd love to hear his side of this story and then see what he's been doing since he talked to you. He's trying to figure this thing out because he knows I can't manage that right now. but I'm preparing for that. Like that's his goal. He's put that on his roadmap. How can I get enough supply without interruption from reliable sources to be able to go on John's app?
Yo, Tawana, we family. You know, I will gladly hook you up with him.
I'd love to talk. I mean, just that nerd in me just wants to talk to him and see, brother, what you've been thinking about. Because I know you've been thinking about something.
Say
This is the
less.
story, right?
He calls and checks in with me every once in a while. He's like, yo, I see you
Checking with
cooking
him.
again.
And how can we help him
I'm about to
succeed?
say, we
Right?
need to help him.
How can we help him get his supply up so that he can come on that app and get what he deserves?
And he would sell plenty of toilet paper.
Absolutely. That's a recurring, I'm saying these are the stories I remember, like when Oprah had her favorite things and she would feature some small people and they were like, oh my God, she said it. And then our site crashed because
Right.
and then we can't fill it. But they were waiting. They said, cool, we'll wait for you. We just want to get in, and how long it takes you, we'll get on your wait list. So there is an optionality to it. It's just like, yeah, we know that it may become a surplus and you may
And
be
think about it, it's toilet paper. I'ma still need it 6 months from now.
That's what I'm saying. You get on a wait list, like now I got it.
For the rest of your life.
I'll pre-order some TP. Like, yeah.
I cannot
That's a
wait.
problem we can solve.
I cannot wait to see Oprah Winfrey's Blapp top 5.
Oh,
I'm gonna make everybody do one.
Yep.
It's just a matter of time. I cannot wait to see Oprah's top 5. But again, all of those businesses, and it's not like we're asking these folks to do an interview. All we need you to do is tap it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I again, going back to where we started, did you make it easy?
Yeah. Did you make it easy? Yeah. Yeah.
So we spend hours and hours and hours making this stuff easy. It takes me months and months, but we get there. And once we get there, some of these folks, you can sit there on your way to work and light some businesses up for the day. Light some businesses up for the day.
That could be a challenge. Go light some businesses up today, and you have everybody who's on the app do it, and somebody gets a prize for lighting up the businesses.
Yeah.
This is great. John, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to give my closing statement, and then T-Shine, I'll pass it over to you, and then John, you can close us out. But first of all, again, John, thank you so much for coming and sharing Blapp with this community. We appreciate you. We appreciate the work that your team has already done and will continue to do. To this community, the 10K Project community, it is always Talisha and my desire to bring you opportunities that you wouldn't normally get, right? And sometimes they're right under your nose and you just didn't know to look. And then sometimes there are opportunities like this that you had to know somebody, right? To be able to get this in front of us, because John's not on a crowdfunding platform. This is a private raise. And so we wouldn't have known about this had it not been for Dean. Dean would not have known about this had, his son not be friends with John, and then they go to lunch together, and for Dean to talk about us, right? So I feel tremendously blessed by the community that surrounds us. But we're here for a mission. We're here to help Black founders and to build wealth, right? The mission here at the 10K Project is not a science. It's not scientific, right? It's very simple. Help Black founders raise capital and build our own Black wealth. And so when we think about tech startups and historically what many of them have done, right? Because we can't make promises on anything, but when we think about what tech startups have done and how they've changed the landscape of how we live, right? This phone, this thing that allows us into the tech world now is strapped to most of us, right? 24 hours a day. And so the thing that we do better than any other demographic is we are consumers, right? Everything you talk about is Black people are the biggest consumers, right? We don't have to just be consumers. In this situation, we get to be investors, and we get to do what we're already going to do, is shop, right? We're going to shop, but not just shop haphazardly. We get to support people who look like us, who have businesses, who have the products that we're already looking for. That's the other thing. Sometimes we do I remember back when we were going through 2020, I was buying t-shirts and all kind of black owned everything. I had like 50 different hair products just because it was black owned. Like, it wasn't buying with a purpose. I was just buying, right? That was my way to support, but it wasn't with a purpose. What John is building here is something that allows you to find the things you already need, want, desire, right? And to find them easily. So you're not just buying the thing because it's black owned. You're buying the thing that you need. It's good quality and you got to buy it anyway. Why not buy it from a black owned business, right? So it goes back to how we started this conversation, that ease and creating that. And so what I say to you is, as consumers, if you have not already downloaded this app, please do so. That's the first call to action, right? We saw that chart, right? We saw the download. We're already at a very good 120, already at a very good download range based on what John showed us. But how awesome would it be to be able to get to that 500,000 downloads, right? I mean, how wonderful will that be? How wonderful would it be to get to the question we had about the Waze app, right? They're at 140 million customers, right? I mean, like this is the kind of traction easily we could get with this app. And so the first call to action is, please download the app. The second call to action is, do your due diligence and consider adding this to your portfolio, right? And so if you're interested in doing that, please send out the form, fill out the form, we'll get that. But outside of those two things, there's still this component of sharing this information with the people you know and love, right? And so it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, for just me to get an opportunity, right? When I get an opportunity, I tell my friends, I tell my family, right? I tell y'all, right? Right? When an opportunity comes my way, I share it. And so I ask that you do the same thing. This is an opportunity that has come your way. You may or may not be in position to take advantage of it, but there are some loved ones, friends that are. And so share this with them. There could be an opportunity to collaborate, right? You got half, I got half, we go in together. Like there's a lot of different opportunities, but you got to talk about it, right? In order to be able to see if there's a way you can make it happen. And so, or in a way to help others take advantage of it. So those are the three call to actions I would like you to consider tonight. Download the app, consider investing yourself, but tell people about it. Share this replay. Those of you who are on the mailing list will get this in your email list in a few hours. Those of you watching via Facebook, you're able to, you can copy the URL when you go to the Facebook replay. You can copy the URL and you can then share that. And then, you know, if people have questions, and they need additional information, send them our way and we'll fill in the gap, right? If we need that, if there's some information you don't know the answer to, we can fill in the gap for them and get them over to John and all of that information. But those are the call to actions I have so that we can help not just the app get to its next phase of success, but again, I can't help but think about all these businesses, many of who will be saved. Some may even be startups that don't have to struggle, right? Because they're going to come in at in a space where they have this amazing app to support them, right? So they never even have to experience the struggle of a small business. That's a blessing too. I can't think of anything bad that can happen by, you know, these businesses coming on board. And so, you know, I want us to do our part as a community. I want us to share. And again, thank you all for supporting us always and supporting the founders. Tishan, what do you want to add, my dear?
I'll piggyback off of supporting business as we are on the eves of TikTok being done. We're going to talk about a little bit of the current event. It wasn't a safe space. I think people are, again, romanticizing what TikTok was before. It was not a pleasant place for Black businesses or Black people. It was literally sued many times because it just would shadow ban and do whatever. So it was never quite the space that we wanted it to be. I think we utilized it. We worked around it just like we do everything else. But what greater thing to have a safe space a safe space that truly looks out for you, is built for you, does all the things you needed to do, and isn't going to have those kind of challenges, just like, how do I maneuver? If you were an online business and you were like, hey, I'm just trying to compete, this is not a place to compete. It's really there for you just to exist.
Right.
And that's a different state of being rather than you hustling, right? You don't want to hustle in a business. You want to run your business. More importantly, you want to see your business thrive, share it with the people who best will be there, customers of all kinds, but you do want to serve your communities. So this is the platform that gives you all of that in spades, truly in spades. And then you won't have to worry about, oh, is this happening over here? Oh, am I shadow banned over there? What did I do? How do I do it? You just come and exist and everything takes care of itself. Obviously, you're still running your business, but I think that's the key part. And we use these platforms like they're our lifeline. What if you could just rest and run your business and let the platform service you? And I think that's what John has built for you right now, is that a platform for you to show up. That's your job, is to show up, and it'll handle itself, and you won't have that stress and that angst that I think we've experienced throughout the lifetime of TikTok. And even if it stays or goes, it's still kind of like you're still going to face those same problems. So I think here is an opportunity, a clean opportunity to do something for you, by you, to excel, to thrive, and be a business owner rather than being a hustler.
Yeah, I love that. Well said. Well said. John, how do you want to close us out this evening, sir?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for all of you guys taking your time. I know people have very busy schedules. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Dean, Tisha, and Tawana. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Everybody who jumped on to listen. I remember I'm sorry for getting emotional. Um,
Good. Emotion
yeah,
is good. But there's
I
no crying on the 10K. We're not crying
We
today.
come real close though sometimes, John.
The quiver lip is all it gets.
come real close sometimes.
That
Sometimes
single
I'm over here
tear,
biting
we
my
will turn it
tongue.
off.
Literally.
Quiver
yeah,
lip. That's as close as you can get.
yeah, I
Pinching
am.
myself under the desk because sometimes I come real close.
Yeah, I'm wildly passionate about these business owners. I remember my grandmother Getty telling me, she said, John, one time I was coming out the bathroom. I was probably like 6 years old, maybe. I was coming out the bathroom, I'll never forget. And she said, John, I had left a towel on the sink and water all over the place. And she pushed me back in the bathroom. She said, John, you leave the place better than you found it. And that's really what we try to do at Blapp, you know? And like you said about founders coming behind us, maybe they won't have to go through what I'm going through. A lot of people don't know, as a tech founder, we are down to a little less than 0.4% of money getting from VC. So if you round that off, it's zero. You know, I'm sitting here trying to grow a redwood with a bottle of water. So it is tough sledding, and this new administration is going to try to make it even more difficult. So yeah, I appreciate y'all taking y'all's time. I think community is the only way that we get this thing done. But fortunately, um, Blapp is in a good space, and it's about to take off. I would love for all you guys to be a part of this journey. I don't know where you are, you know, with your finances or whatever, but I'm proud to say that no matter what, you know, since these sisters had me on, you'll all be able to say, hey, I saw. And the reason that I watch these docs about the start of these companies, we always think of Google as this big conglomerate or Amazon, but I like to read the stories of, you know, Jeff Bezos buying a packing table because they used to sit on the floor to pack the boxes. They only had books at Amazon, but they sat on the floor. And I don't know, I kind of feel like Blapp is in that space right now, but reading all those stories, I know that we are on our way to something big. The timing of this thing is right. We've got the right team, the right energy around it, and I always say, you know, in terms of an action statement, and I'm gonna let you guys go. Trust your gut. You can always trust your gut. You know when you're around something that feels good. Black folks, we are very intuitive. We can smell bullshit from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? So I say trust your gut, and thank you all for your time. I truly appreciate you. I hope you support I hope you download the app no matter what, and support these hardworking entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John. Thank you to all of you who showed up tonight. Thank you to all of you who will watch the replay in the coming days. We appreciate all of you. Peace and blessings. T-Shine, thank you for being on camera with me tonight. I kind of like this. I don't know.
Nope. Don't
I'd
even get
love
it
to
in
see
your
that
head.
red
Don't get
lipstick
it in
every
your head.
week.
This is not how it works. This is a one and done. I have to convince her all the time. Like she gets these little ideas and she thinks we're gonna run with it. And I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing.
I feel truly special. Thank you.
You were special.
Yes.
Normally she's in the back. I get the logo. That's what I get up here every
Right,
week.
because I'm not supposed to be here. See, I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be here. But she's like, you could just do it now. It was a whole lot of things. So I'm here. I showed up, but
You look amazing.
oh, thank you. Red lipstick. See, there you go. Senti at that. See, we gotta all go in here.
Yes, thank you. You know what? You know, Sephora been blowing me up.
There you go. Get on.
Wanting to get those Black-owned brands on.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. We got a
Yeah.
couple. We're gonna send you all of ours. We got a
Oh
whole.
God, yeah. We got a list already. We
got
ready.
the list already.
No.
How you want it? Alphabetical,
You know,
industry. I got you.
and y'all can come in through the back door. Y'all don't even have to wait. Y'all got the VIP. Yeah, I'll put y'all businesses right on.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
Dean,
much.
Dean, I see you there in the chat, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And Matt Richards, man. They were the guys who connected all of this. So Dean, thank you. I love you, man. You know I love Matt, man. Thank you guys.
All right, everyone. Peace and blessings.
Good night.
Good night.